Hello, Captains. It is the Doctor. Welcome to another Star Trek Online Starship review. This is the Herald Quas Flight Deck Cruiser Tier 6 Starship. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go. Greetings, Captains. This is the Doctor. Welcome to another Starship review. This is the Herald Quas Flight Deck Cruiser review, Tier 6 Starship. This Starship is from the Herald Lockbox. That is where you will find it. You will, of course, also find this ship in the exchange. And just so we are on the same page about how much this thing costs, let's quickly go to the exchange and take a look at what you might be able to purchase it for from the exchange if you want to use energy credits. Otherwise, you will have to use the Herald Lockbox, which is, of course, a random chance of getting this ship, and, of course, you know how that goes. But let's just jump in the exchange here. I haven't done this yet, so I'm very curious myself if this is in the exchange and how much. Let's do Herald Quas. Here it is. So it is 145 million energy credits. Not a small amount by any means, but it is available, and there are 7 of them. So not a whole lot. But if you have the EC, you can, of course, go that route. Otherwise, you will have to go the Herald Lockbox route and try to get one that way and all that. But let's read about this ship, because this is the one I'm reviewing today. This ship, is currently packed, blah, blah, blah. The formidable Quas Flight Deck Cruiser is the workhorse of the Iconian Herald fleet. This incredibly durable starship has both excellent shields and hull strength and boasts a single hangar bay. The Herald Quas Flight Deck Cruiser features both a Lieutenant Science/Command Bridge Officer seat and a Lieutenant Commander Universal/Intel Bridge Officer seat. So this has 2 specialized seatings. It has a Command and an Intel. So you can have not only the regular BOF setup, but you could have a specialized Command Officer and an Intel Officer on this ship as well. So that makes it very versatile and very unique and powerful. The Herald Quas Flight Deck Cruiser comes equipped with an Energy Gateway Controller Universal Console. While the console is equipped, you can activate this console to open a gateway that will rapidly replenish the shields of all nearby allies for a short time. This gateway is susceptible to enemy attacks, however it is fairly durable. This console also provides a passive boost to shield healing and shield hit points. This console mod can be equipped in any console slot. It may be equipped on any Herald ship. You may only equip one of these mods. After achieving level 5 in the Herald Quas Flight Deck Cruiser Starship Mastery, you will unlock the Synergistic Restoration Starship trait. While this Starship trait is slotted, any incoming shield healing will cause you to receive a small amount of hull healing over time. This can occur once every 10 seconds. The Herald Quas Flight Deck Cruiser has a single hangar bay equipped with the Herald Mirror Fighters. These light craft are equipped with Herald Anti-Proton Beam Arrays and the Impact ability. So the hull strength on this is 39,750 at level 40, and it increases, of course, 45,712 at level 50, and then 53,000 at level 60, and of course you can buff that much higher. Shield modifier is very good on this ship, 1.3, so this is actually a ship that has a very high shield modifier, given that it's more of a cruiser type of ship, or a battle cruiser type of ship. So that is very cool. It's got a hangar bay too, remember? So it's almost, I know a lot of people don't consider one hangar bay ships carriers, but I almost kind of do in a way because it is carrying a set of fighters. So in a way, it's a cruiser slash carrier in my opinion. A crew of 1,200, so it's a very large ship, very, very large. 4 forward weapons, 4 aft, and 4 device slots. So this thing is loaded to the brim on weaponry, forward and aft. Obviously, this is going to be the type of thing you're going to put beams on. This is not a cannon ship by any means. This is a beam ship through and through. The bridge officer stations, of course, is 1 Lieutenant Commander Tactical, 1 Commander Engineering, 1 Lieutenant Science Command, 1 Ensign Universal, 1 Lieutenant Commander Universal Intel. So obviously it has a full Commander Engineering slot. So you can see that this would pair really well with an engineering character. Console modification is 3 Tactical, 5 Engineering, 3 Science. Very heavy on the engineering. But it is very fairly divided between tactical and science. It actually has 3 tactical and 3 science. Base turn rate, 8 degrees per second. We expect it to turn slow, but still 8 degrees per second is not as bad as some cruisers, which come out of the gate at like 6 degrees per second. Impulse modifier is 0.15. Friction or traction is 35 plus 5 to all power. 1 hangar bay. The Herald Mir fighters. The Universal Energy Gateway, and of course the Mastery Package, which is called Absorptive Plating, Rapid Repairs, Quick Deployment, Enhanced Plating, and Synergistic Restoration. We will of course look at all that. And then because it is a cruiser, it does have the Attract Fire and Shield frequency modification. However, it's missing the Strategic Maneuvering and the Energy Weapon one. So it is missing 2 of the cruiser command arrays. But at least it has 2 of the other ones. So that's interesting, a bit of a mix there on the ship. But from what we can tell from these specifications is that it's a big ship, it's a slow ship, but it's got a hangar bay, and it's got a very flexible bridge officer setup. And it's got a very high shield modifier for a ship of this class. You would not expect a shield modifier that high. So, it's actually a very capable Tier 6 starship, at least as far as the specs go. It is, of course, expensive, and like I said, you can get it through the exchange or a Herald lockbox. Now, what else? Let's go to my build on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go through my build, what I currently have on it in terms of gear, and this is not to show you, necessarily what kind of build you can put on it. This is more so just to show you what I've got on it, so that when we go into combat here in a little bit, you will just be aware of the kind of weapons and all those kinds of things that I'm using on the ship. Because there are a million different ways that you can build a ship, configure a ship, obviously, and I don't claim that there is a right way to do it. Obviously, people may find better builds than what I have put on my ship. You may have a better build, you may have different opinions about that, and that's totally okay. Don't freak out, because I know a lot of people get that way sometimes. They look at a build on a ship and say, oh, that's a terrible build, you should not be doing this, you should not be doing that, blah blah blah. I like to do what's fun for me. I like to theme my ships generally, so that's kind of how I do things, and I don't ever claim that it's the best build, so I'm not even claiming that, so you don't have to worry about that. But I'll just bring it up and you can see what I'm running right now. This is what I got. This is what I'm doing on mine. As you can see, the Herald Quas Flight Deck Cruiser Tier 6. This is what it looks like. We'll go take a look at it in space and take a closer look at it, of course. It's a very unique looking ship, one of the most unique looking ships in the game. Here's what I'm running. As I said, it's a beam ship, so I built this as a beam ship. I have 2 single beams up front and a dual beam. I would probably change this now. These are old weapons I'm using. You'll notice these are advanced fleet weapons, so they don't have pen, and they don't even have crit D. These are damage and accuracy. These weapons date way back to when accuracy was real important. Yes, there was a time, believe it or not, when accuracy was more important than crit or damage. In fact, damage was like a no-no. That time did exist. But times have changed, powers have changed, everything's evolved a little differently nowadays. So nowadays, more crits, more crit D, more pen, more damage even is more important. But I digress. I have not had the chance to totally upgrade these weapons yet to that level on this character yet. By the way, this is my engineering character, the last Doctor, so he is an engineer. But these weapons are still capable. They're definitely not capable. I mean, Mark 14, ultra rare. So we are talking very capable weapons here, just not the particular modifiers I would prefer flying today's starships. But one day I will make that upgrade. What I'm going to have to do is get all better weapons here and upgrade them. But you know, I'll do that in time. That's going to take a lot of resources. But one of the changes I would probably make on this ship too, because I don't have right now, I only have one of these dual beam banks, is I'd probably put 2 dual beam banks up front and then just 1 single. Another change I would make. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is right now I'm running 1 dual, 2 singles up front, 2 singles in the back, an Omni in the back, the kinetic cutting beam, and it's all anti-proton, and I am using the Advanced Fleet transphasic torpedo as well. For the deflector, impulse, warp, and shield, I'm using the Soul defense system. This is very good for cruisers, very good for this type of ship, very high on defense, that sort of thing. So I've got the Soul defense deflector, it's Mark 14 Epic. I got the Soul defense impulse at Epic. I've got the Soul defense covariant shield at Mark 14 Epic. And then the warp core I'm using is an Elite Fleet plasma integrated warp core 14 with AMP, ECAP, EFF, SSS, weapons to aux, and weapons to shields. Very good setup here, and not really had any problems with this setup. Again, on my consoles, they're also Mark 14 Epic, you know, maxed out anti-proton damage and critical chance on here as much as I can. I have the temporal disentanglement suite on here for some more shield capacity, auxiliary power setting, more crit chance and crit severity based on my auxiliary power. I find that to be very important. I also have a bioneural gel pack for a little bit more power to everything here, as well as shield hit points and a reduction on bridge officer abilities. Then I have the Science Plasma Generating Weapon Signature Nullifier. Basically, it improves energy and shield drains, resistance. It adds plasma-based exotic damage. It decreases threat generation. It adds plasma explosion proc to energy weapons. And then I have, of course, the assimilated module from the Borg and EPS and Neutronium, the sustained radiant field from the Iconian, I believe this is. This is 12.5% all weapon damage, 25% to shield heals, and then, of course, the unique console. This is what makes this ship unique. All these consoles, of course, you can get elsewhere through you know, just leveling up your ship in the in your fleet spire or fleet starbase. But all of these other things here, like this one here, this is what's unique to the ship. So this is what the ship comes with natively, and you can only get on this ship. This is the energy gateway controller. Just by having this on your ship, you get an 11.2% maximum shield capacity and 22.5% to shield heals. But it summons an energy gateway, creates a level 60 energy gateway for 30 seconds, and it applies up to 20 allies. So if you had like 20 allies around you, this thing will help shield regeneration on them for 30 seconds. So it does help a very large team, but you do have to be rather close to the gateway for it to have its effect. If people fly away from the gateway, it will not affect them anymore. So that's something to keep in mind about it. It's only very useful within close distances. It is part of a set, so if you have the other Herald ships, if you have the Oblivion Gateway module and the Ambush Gateway generator, then you get this Herald Tactics ability, which is more critical severity and flight turn rate, and you get this other ability called a Solar Flare Gateway. But of course, to get all that, you need both of the other ships. You need all this stuff: the Oblivion Gateway module, Ambush Gateway, and the Energy Gateway controller. So you need all those things to complete the set. I only have one right now, so just the one on this ship. These are the masteries, of course, because it's a Tier 6 starship. We'll go over them in space. We'll go over all the stats in space. Just real quick, here's the stations I'm running. I'm running my Commander Engineering. I'm running my Lieutenant Commander for Tactical. And I do have intelligence powers on. I've got Override Subsystem Safeties 1. I've got Intelligence Team 2. And I do have an Electromagnetic Pulse Probe 2. If you've ever fought the Heralds, if you've ever played one of the STFs with the Heralds, you will know that they are highly known for throwing out those EMP probes. They love to throw those EMP probes out. So I thought, to be thematic to this ship, to do what this ship normally does anyway when you encounter ships like these, I figured, you know what, we need an EMP probe on this thing. Then I can be just like the Heralds and throw out a lot of EMP probes. So as you can see, it creates a level 60 EMP probe. It flies toward the target. 60% chance of disabling foe within 2 kilometers. When target reached, all foes within 2 kilometers get electrical damage and disable for 10 seconds. So pretty cool ability. When it reaches the target, it does fly toward it. And then I'm using this ability down here to test out some command powers. So I have Concentrate Firepower 1 and Overwhelm Emitters 2. So I am using both intelligence and command powers on this ship, in addition to regular bridge officer powers. So you can see, this is just to demonstrate, to show you how you can use both intelligence and command powers at the same time on one ship. That makes it very powerful, because you can see right here, this is the Universal Lieutenant Commander slot, and this little icon here means that this is intelligence, and then this is a science spot, but it can be used as a command spot. That's what the little triangle means. So command and intelligence, as well as either being science or a universal, whatever you want here. So very flexible in terms of bridge officer seating, and I really like that. I think that's one of the big pluses about this ship, is just how flexible it is, because you can use intel powers if you want, or you can use command powers if you want. And that makes it very powerful as a starship. You can do a lot with it. There's a lot there to do. If you don't like... Am I stuck, really? If you don't like, you know, certain intelligence powers, that's fine. You don't have to use them. You can try out the command powers. If you don't like the command powers, maybe you like the intelligence ones. If you don't like either of them, you don't have to use any of them. You can just use the regular bridge officer powers. So it's all flexible in that way. Or if you want to use both, you can, or all three, it's there. I love that. It's just really good. Let's go to Customize Starship real quick, and we will look at any changes we can make to the template. As you can see, Quas, you cannot make any template changes to the Starship at all. It does have a unique Iconian bridge, so we will take a look at that. No window options. I guess the ship just doesn't have windows. Actually, it does have windows when it's in space, but for some reason there are no window options. Material, you've got Iconian 1 and Iconian 2. So this is the Iconian 2 material. I don't like this one. I like the Iconian regular one. It's purple. It's unique. Very Iconian. You can change the pattern on it, and that's it, really. There's no style changes or anything to it. No unique patterns you can change. So there's really not a lot of customization you can do to the Starship. The biggest customization is going to come from what you put in the visualization options. Remember, if you go under the Starship, under Visuals, you can put a unique deflector, a unique impulse, and a unique shield that have some kind of visual difference. So that's how you can make this ship look unique, is by using the visual slot to do that. Now, my impulse engines do have a visual on them. The Soul Defense impulse engines, they have that red trail that goes behind the ship, and I quite like that. So that's my current visual I have for the ship. Otherwise, I have no other visuals on this ship. There is one other visual that I sometimes like to do, and I'll show that to you in space. But that's the assimilated deflector array from the Borg. If you put that in the deflector spot, it has like that Borg deflector array thing come out here, kind of stick out like pointy things sticking out. of the deflector, and I kind of like that look. I'll show it to you in space. But all that's optional, of course. Whatever you do there is just up to you, but that's how you will make this ship unique, is by using those visual slots. Let's go to the bridge real quick. Where's the Starship Bridge? Because this is one of the most unique bridges ever on a starship. I don't think you'll ever see another bridge quite as unique as this bridge. It's very, very futuristic, very, very sci-fi. So when this gets loaded up here, I hate these server not respondings. This happens a lot. Hurry up, please. Come on. Any day. Ugh. Sorry about that, guys. This happens like every time I try to load something new. Here we go. This is the bridge. Let me turn off the HUD here for you. There we go. Is that not one of the most unique bridges? It's like the little components are floating on their own. Or, actually what it's like, and I bet what it is the whole room is just a holographic generator. Like, imagine piloting your starship from the holodeck, and you made the holodeck represent space all around you. Then you could like really see space. I mean, you'd feel like you're in space, directing from a bridge that's in space, with space all around you, able to see behind you and to the sides and above you. This is how I would want to pilot my ship. I could just imagine myself sitting in the captain's chair and having space holographically generated all around me. And that's the bridge, you know. That would totally make sense. And obviously that's what the Iconians have done here. Let's see. It says, I don't know what this one is. Let's see what this one is. This one is duty officers. Back here we have small craft, library files, account bank. And I guess this is the chair, or not the chair, but the stand. It needs a chair, but this is where you would pilot from, which is still so very cool. I mean, that is just a very unique bridge. I love this. I mean, I think this is like, this is exactly what you would imagine an Iconian bridge to look like. It's just out of this world. So I like that a lot. I wish I could visit more places of the ship, to be honest with you. But anyway, very cool. I like the bridge. Very happy with that. Alright, so the next thing to do is to go into space, and let's take a look at this ship in space. Because, along with the bridge being so unique, the outside of this ship is also just so unique. It's like the pieces aren't even connected, yet they're still connected to each other. Like, see here? Not connected, but yet still connected. Like some kind of energy field is keeping the pieces together. That's what I imagine. Like it's a compartmentalized kind of ship, you know, where it's like in different blocks, but yet all the blocks are being held together by a force, some kind of field that keeps everything together. Very sci-fi. It's very futuristic. I mean, you will not find another ship this unique in the game, other than the big one, you know, the Dreadnought one. I mean, the other Iconian ship. This is just a really unique ship. So you can see the red trails here from the impulse engine. That's because of the Soul Defense Impulse visuals. If I turn that off, this is what it looks like by default, which is not terrible anyway. It has a unique kind of plasma stream anyway. But I really like the Soul Defense look of those. I think that looks a lot better. Anyway, that's just a visual thing. So like I said, all the visual things you can do yourself and make unique. But yeah, this ship is so weird to fly. At first, you will be weirded out by it. Trying to fly it, you will totally be weirded out by it because you don't know where to point it. I mean, obviously you know where to point it, but it's hard to explain. It's like you're not turning like a disc. You're turning a very vertical ship, so it's very weird at first. But you do get used to it, and I got used to it pretty quick. But once you get used to flying it, it's just a matter of flying it like a slow carrier or cruiser or battle cruiser. Let's look at the specs. Real quick, let's go look at the mastery here. The first mastery unlock is called Absorptive Hull Plating. That gives you plus 25 physical and kinetic damage resistance. The second one gives you a hull regeneration. Regenerates 1068 hull every 3 seconds in space, twice this amount out of combat. The third one gives you quick deployment, which allows you a 46.3% recharge time reduction to launching carrier pets, and a plus 50% rank up XP for all hangar pets. The fourth one is an all energy and radiation damage resistance. And then the fifth one is the mastery trait. This one's called Synergistic Restoration. It is a heal over time from shields. It gives you 1775 hit points every 1 second for 5 seconds upon receiving a shield heal. So basically what that means is hit points is your hull strength. So basically when you do a shield heal or anything that counts as a shield heal, it will also heal your hull every 1 second for 5 seconds. It'll do that 1775 hit points. And I will tell you, there are things that count as shield heals that I didn't think counted as shield heals, but do. For example, the rotate shield frequency that comes with the engineering ability, the engineering captain ability. This does count as a shield heal on this ship and will trigger that hull heal. So watch this. When I do rotate shield frequency, this ship is going to start pulsating green, and that is the Starship trait. So here it goes. There it is. That is the Starship trait. So as you can see, something, and it's still going, in fact. Synergistic Restoration, there it is. So as you can see, it's over now. As you can see, something, oh no, it's still going. Oh yeah, it's okay, it's every 5 seconds. So I guess every 5 seconds it pulsates like that. I don't know how long it actually lasts. That's what, the 4th time it's done that? So will it do it one more time? Let's see. No, that's it. But something as simple as rotate shield frequency will enable that trait, which is amazing. So, I mean, as a cruiser, as an engineer, as a tanky kind of ship, what an incredible ability. So something like emergency power to shields, that'll also trigger it. See there? Any kind of shield heal will trigger that. I have another trait enabled as well that apparently is working. But yeah, I mean, great, crazy, huh? Okay, that one, so this one, so that's why this one lasts 30 seconds, so that's why this one doesn't last as long. But for some reason, yeah, the rotate shield frequency makes it last longer. I don't know. I love it, though. Let's look at the specs. So I am sitting at stealth detection of 31.9. Power transfer rate is 376%. I love a high power transfer rate. Bonus defense is 60%, so very high. 85,000 hull, so very high. 128.4% hull rate. My shield capacity is 24,514, very high shield capacity. Remember, it has a high shield modifier anyway of 1.3. My resist are 55%, well, almost 56%. That's really high. Crit chance is 12.3 and crit severity is 71.5. These could stand to be increased, but that's where I need like crit D weapons in order to do that. If I had like all crit Ds on there and stuff, you know, that would help with the severity. So that's a bit low, but I can get that up in the future. And the turn rate. Remember, it's 8 degrees per second by default, and I am at 14.3 with all the buffs I have on right now. So very maneuverable for this type of ship. And remember, the hull strength is 53,000 at 60, level 60, and I'm at 85, so I've got that buffed quite high as well. The other thing to show you is just the hangars here. I have the Elite Mir Fighters. These are from the Fleet Starbase. Obviously, they cost a lot of dilithium and fleet marks and all that stuff to get, but if you can, these are the most powerful Mir Fighters that you can put on this starship. These are the Herald Vaunt Dreadnought, you can put them on the Herald Vaunt Dreadnought or the Quas flight deck. This is 2 times Herald Anti-Proton Beam Arrays, Herald Transphasic Torpedo Launcher, and Beam Overload 2, as well as Impact. So these have a lot of abilities for these Mir fighters, quite good. Now, something else I haven't shown you is that this ship did come with its own set of anti-proton beams. It came with these Herald anti-proton beams. As you can see, they're common, they have no modifiers on them, and they're only Mark 10. So in order to make these useful, you need to upgrade them not only in mark level, but also in quality, so that you can get some modifiers on them. Now, I do not know what modifiers they gain when you upgrade them. I have not upgraded any of these yet to find out, but I have kept them because it is my goal that one day, when I have the resources to do so, because I've got like no dilithium right now, no energy credits, but when I have the resources to do it, I will upgrade these and I will see what they can become, because I do not know what modifiers they gain. I don't know how useful they'll be. I just wanted to note that the ship does come with its own style of anti-proton weapons called Herald anti-proton weapons. So that's a thing. It's just that I did not have the resources to upgrade all these weapons when I already had weapons that were already upgraded to Mark 14 Ultra Rare. So that's why I'm using these anti-proton weapons. But in the future, one day, I will upgrade these and find out what they do and how powerful they are. And maybe I'll make an update video in the future once I get these Herald weapons upgraded. But right now, I just didn't have them upgraded, so obviously there's no point in using them. But I just wanted to point out it does come with them. If you had the resources, you could upgrade them. And I guess they're a little bit different than regular anti-proton weapons. Let's see, 2.5 chance of a plus 7% bonus energy damage to self for 20 seconds. That might be unique. Herald anti-proton weapons have a chance to enhance your damage output, yeah. So they do have unique ability compared to regular anti-proton weapons. They almost sound like the Radiant anti-proton weapons to me, right? Have a chance to enhance damage output. So it would be interesting to upgrade these and find out what they can do. But right now, I don't, so I can't. Or I can't, so I don't. You know what I mean. Anyway, and here's the regular Mir fighters. These are the ones that this ship came with. This is the regular ones that the ship came with. Just plain old 2 times Herald anti-proton beams and impact. So barely any features on the original ones. But then, of course, I upgraded them to the elite ones. And they got a transphasic torpedo and beam overload too. So that is the setup on this ship. Let me show you, well, I can't show you actually, I wanted to show you the energy gateway, because obviously that's what really makes this ship unique, is that energy gateway. As you can see, it creates a level 60 energy gateway for 30 seconds, supplies up to 20 allies, 1229 shield regeneration for 30 seconds. And how much electrical damage? Doesn't do electrical damage, does it? No. It's just healing. Okay, so I can't show you that right here in space. I have to go into combat to show you that. But I will launch the fighters. Let's launch the fighters. They come out right there. And there. Somewhere. There's 3 of them. And when this cools down, I'll launch the other 3. We'll get a close-up look at them. That's what they look like. So even the fighters are very uniquely shaped. There's a good view. The fighters are very uniquely shaped. They look pretty cool. So you can have six fighters out. Of course, you use them just like any other fighters on ships, but you got 6 of them you can deal with. They have a hull strength of 3741. That's what they are. Elite Mir fighters. So that, of course, helps our ship right there. Makes it more powerful. And then, of course, I showed you the healing. Any shield heal. We'll do this green bit here, which is the shield heal. Or the hull heal, I should say. It's a hull heal is what it is. And then everything else is just based on the powers I have enabled. Like I have Intelligence Fleet 2. Here's my Override System Sub-Safeties. Here's the Concentrate Firepower and Overwhelm Emitters. This is from the Command Powers. So these are powers, of course, that are just interchangeable, and you can make whatever you want on your ship. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go into battle. I'm going to do some patrols, maybe some STFs. We'll see what happens. And I will demonstrate the fighters fighting. I will demonstrate, of course, the ship using its weaponry that I have set up, and then the healing that it has, as well as the energy gateway, because that's really what makes it unique. So like right now, what you can't see, but you will be able to when we go into combat, is if I were able to launch the gateway right now, it would shoot an energy beam toward my ship, but it would also shoot an energy beam toward each of my fighters and be healing them as long as they're close to me as well. So it would heal, that many. It said up to 20 people. So that's quite a bit that it can do at once. If you have a big team, for example, it can really help. If you have a lot of people around you doing STFs, it really helps because it heals everybody around you. So it's good for that. So I'm going to go ahead and warp out and head to some patrols and get that going. So stay tuned. I will be right back. Okay, welcome back everybody. We're coming up on everybody's favorite Japori. We'll start here and go from here and see what happens. Just a little bit of a thing I want to say too real quick. Up to this point I've been speaking a little fast, trying to go through this a little quick it may seem. I just want to get through this and not waste a lot of time. Sometimes you guys who have seen my previous ship reviews know that I can get very long-winded on things, sometimes repeat myself often, and generally spend a lot of time talking about things that maybe I don't need to spend so much time on. So I'm trying to hopefully compress these a little bit more so they aren't such a pain to sit through and aren't so long. Hopefully you guys will appreciate that. If there's anything I need to expand on, let me know, in the comments. Let me know for sure, and I may do update videos on these ship reviews if I need to. Like I said, I probably will on this one anyway. Once I get those Herald anti-proton weapons upgraded, I will probably do another update on this ship with those weapons. Okay, so I wanted to pop all my fighters, because what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to attack these ships here. I'm going to let my fighters do it, and we can see what kind of power they have. Okay, fighters, go. Do something. I got to attack first, so they will attack. There we go. Well, did they?
Right shield's failing.
I can't tell if they're doing anything.
Rear shield's failing.
Oh well.
Target shield has failed.
There's the gateway. Oh, it got destroyed. No! He got destroyed really fast. Oh, that was bad. That was really bad. You can see my fighters. Okay, you can see my fighters doing their thing. I was wondering if you guys would be able to see the fighters actually doing their stuff, but yeah, you can see them. Look for the blue beams. Their weaponry is blue. See that? There's a blue. Blue torpedoes. There they go. Okay, that's a good showing right there. Blue torpedoes and blue beams.
Warning, ship is under attack.
So they're doing quite a bit of damage. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Yeah, they're doing damage.
Target's shields have failed.
Here goes the EMP probe.
Target's shields have failed.
Piece of cake. Piece of cake. So let me show you... Not now. Let me show you what I mean now that I got all 6 of my fighters out. There's the energy gate. So you can see how it heals everybody that's close to you. There's all my fighters. But when you get out of range of it, the only problem is when you get out of range of it like this. See, it's working on the ones close to it, but I'm not close to it, so it just sits there doing nothing. Now if I fly back towards it, it'll get me, but yeah, you have to be within 3 kilometers, see? You have to be pretty close to it. Or is it 2 kilometers? Either 2 or 3. So I like the energy gateway, but the first time I popped it here in this one to show you, in this patrol, it got destroyed very fast. And then this second time, you see that you have to be very close to it in order for it to actually work. When you fly away from it, it doesn't work. So it's good if you're just sitting there, I guess. If you're like sitting in a very small, close area with all your ships and you're not really moving, the energy gateway is good for that. But if you're flying around, like if you're in an escort, you're going to be flying around all over the place. The energy gateway is not going to help you. So it has a limited use. So I like it, but I don't like that you have to be so close to it. I wish it like moved with you. I wish it was a moving energy gateway. That's what needs to happen. A moving energy gateway. Let's go to something just a little different. Let's go to... what should we do? Let's go... Where's my Delta Quadrant? Let's go to Argala. Everyone likes Argala, right? Love Argala. I say that with a sarcastic look in my eye. We'll do Argala, and then I'll look at doing some STFs. Again, I really want to use this energy gateway to the best of its ability, but the problem is you fly away from it too easily. That's often what happens with me. I end up flying too far away from it.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Alright, let's just go and attack things. We got Kazon. Now you can Now you can see my fighters a lot better here in this one. I got to keep that in mind. So in this one, you can see my fighters doing a lot better. You can see their blue beams, their blue torpedoes. Turning is the only problem. As you can see, trying to turn is still slow. Even though it's at 14 degrees per second, that's still slow. EMP probe,
Ship is under attack.
command powers.
Target shield has failed.
Energy gateway.
Target shield has failed. Target shield has failed. Target shield has failed. Target shield has failed. Target shield has failed.
Excellent. That's how you do that. We're at the last round already.
Warning.
EMP
Ship is
probe
under attack.
away.
Four shields failing. Target shield has failed.
Energy gateway. And that is that. Pretty nice, huh? So I'm not done yet. I am going to do some STFs with it, something a little harder to show you guys, but this is just an example to show you, for example, how the fighters work, which I like the Mir fighters. These Mir fighters have been very good. They fire that blue beam, those blue torpedoes. They are very good weapons. They are very good fighters. I know a lot of people ask, what are good fighters? What fighters should I use on my ship? I like these Mir fighters. Now, the problem with the Mir fighters, of course, is you can only use them on the Herald Dreadnought or the Herald Quas. So You can only use them on the Herald ships. But definitely, if you've got a Herald ship, you want to use these mirror fighters. They are very good. So I will continue to use them on this ship, and I will see what they do on the Dreadnought. So fighters, I give an A+. A+ on the fighters. Now the Gateway. The Gateway, I like its ability. I like what it does. I give its ability an A+, but I give its usability, its practicality, a C. The reason why I give it a C is because, like I said, it is stationary, and you have to be, what's the distance? I just want to get this right. 3 kilometers. You have to be within 3 kilometers. That is right on its butt. You have to be right in its butt to be useful. And once you fly out of that 3 kilometer position, it's no longer useful. That means its practicality, its usability is lessened. If you are just sitting in one spot, like if you're tanking a lot of damage, it's great. If you're the tank, let's say you've got a lot of escorts, you know, killing things, and you're generating threat and taking that damage away from them, from the enemy, and you're tanking their damage, you know, from the enemy, that's great. Energy Gateway would really help you there. But if you're trying to do DPS and fight the enemy, you're probably flying around a lot, and then it's not going to help you there. So it's got a very limited use scenario. So that makes it not as useful. But as for tanking, you know, in its very limited use scenario, it is very useful. So it's useful for a thing, for one thing. It's not useful for a lot of things. Does that make any sense? Hopefully that makes some sense. What I'm going to do now is to pause the video here, my recording, and I'm going to see if I can jump into some good STFs. I don't know what. I have no idea what people are playing right now. But I'm going to try to find something that's a little bit of a challenge for our ship here, so that you can see what it's like in really hardened combat. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to do at least one STF. So let me pause the video. Let me get in something. I don't know how long it'll take. It may take a little while to get into something, whatever people are playing, and then I'll come back, record, and we will have that here, and then I'll conclude at the very end with my overall thoughts on this ship, its value, if you should spend money on it, if you should try to purchase it, or if you should try to get a lockbox or whatever. I'll talk about all that at the end, so stay tuned. Okay, welcome back everybody. So, I lied. I decided to actually go ahead and do a Temporal Marauders run first. This is against the Nakul, and the Nakul are a formidable enemy. So this will be a good test anyway. So yeah, this is the a regular pug. This is not a pre-made by any means. I am pugging this. I just got in the Marauders queue for this, and this is of course against the Nakul. The Nakul have some very tough ships. They especially have this like impenetrable shield they put up. That's fun to play with. But this house also has a lot of ships at once. This has sections of this content here. This alert. It's a Nakul alert. Has a lot of enemies. So this will be a good test for our ship.
My convoy's under attack, and we're not military. We won't last long. Please, anyone, help!
Target's shields have failed.
Alpha convoys en route. Satellites near you. Running the gauntlet here. Keep those to cool off us.
Target shields have failed.
Whew, lots of enemies. Quite fun, quite fun.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target shields have failed.
So you can see lots and lots and lots of enemies in this one. Here's a whole bunch of them right here. Look at all that. Ooh, and they got this terrible radiation damage thing that they do.
Ship is under attack.
Right now, I could use, there we go, the energy gateway.
Core shield failing.
Ow,
Rear shield
ow.
failing. Right shield failing.
Oh, I'm dead. I got into it too deep there, a little too far, too confident. That was my fault.
Ship is under attack. Target shields have failed. Target shields have failed.
One of my friends just went to war. They're safe. Trash here. The convoy's been split up by the Nakul. Help us!
It's a tough one. I love this red alert though. This is one of my favorite red alerts, honestly. The Tholian one is fun, but this one is pretty tough, which I like.
This Commander Jacob Trask of the Whale. Our convoy's under attack. We're not military. We won't last long. Please, anyone, help!
Target shields have failed.
That was fun. And we're not done yet.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target shield has
Gotta get the distortion first.
Target shield has failed. Target shield has failed.
I got the gateway going.
Target shield has failed.
Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun right there.
This is Acting Convoy Command.
I'm gonna take me some temporal marks because I need temporal marks. I think my inventory is full. That's great. Oh, there you go, everybody. I'm not even gonna do an STF after that. I mean, 2 patrols and this Nicole alert really is enough, because this Nicole alert really shows you, you know, in a tough battle, this ship can survive. Although I did blow up once, but that was my fault. I got in too deep on that one, too deep. Too many enemies at once, and well, even this ship can blow up. But, you know, generally speaking, I don't blow up that much on this ship. It's a very good ship. I like it. Very powerful. You put the right beams on here, you know, the right modifiers and that sort of thing. This ship is poised to be one of the high DPSers. This ship is right up there to be one of those high DPSers. You just have to build it right. It has the potential, let me put it that way. It has the capability of being a high DPS ship. Let's go back to Sol System and we'll just summarize here, because I'm pretty much at the end of this review. There's not much else to say about it, because there's really not a whole lot about this ship. It has one unique console with one unique ability, one unique Starship trait, and then just however you want to build it, you know. It's got a high shield modifier for itself. So let's summarize. Let's get out of everybody's way here where it's very noisy. And let's summarize this ship, shall we? Well, let's summarize the ship, shall we? Okay, so basically, I find this to be a very capable starship. I think this ship has a lot of potential. I believe this can be a high DPS ship. I believe people that get it in their hands and can do the right builds on it will make it a very powerful high DPS ship. And with the hangar bay, with the elite Mir fighters, that'll just increase their DPS even more. So that in turn helps make it a very powerful ship. I believe that it has a high shield modifier for its class, which makes it a little more tankier. I believe as a tank, it's a perfect ship as a tank as well. I believe it can be a great tank, especially when you use the energy gateway, although you just have to be still or be within that 3 kilometers distance of the energy gateway. That'll help make it a tank. I believe it can be a high threat generator, so you can take threat away from the other team, and you can take threat onto yourself, for example, generate a high threat so that enemies will attack you, which means the escorts and the smaller ships can go do their thing and blow things away while you take the heat off of them. This is that kind of ship, and in that sort of role, this ship succeeds very well. And that's where the energy gateway is going to be at its best and most effective. The energy gateway itself, its power is pretty cool. It has a cool ability, but like I said previously, it has a limited practicality, practical usage, whatever word I'm trying to say there. It has a limited usage scenario because you can pretty much only use it and be effective on ships that are within 3 kilometers of it. Any ship that flies out of it, your fighters or any ship or whatever, is not going to benefit from it. So it only works in a very limited area. That limits its use highly. I don't know of any STF other than maybe Gates of Grethor, where you sit. You know how sometimes you close the rifts, but you can find that sweet spot in GGA where you are able to close all of the radiation rifts in one spot, and you just kind of sit there and then wait for that time period to run out. In that scenario, you could run the gateway and just sit there in that one spot and tank it very well, all the ships fighting around you, and just close all the rifts. I mean, that would work well. But I don't know of many other STFs where you just sit in one spot. I guess maybe Kittimer Space, where you are taking out the probes. If your job is to take out the probes, perhaps you could sit in one spot and, tank damage from one spot taking out probes. But honestly, there's really not a lot of STFs where you just sit in one spot doing nothing for a long time. Most of the time you're moving around and going to different places and doing things. So, I guess it can help you in some limited situations. If you're trying to take down a gateway or something like that, it can help you in some limited situations. But otherwise, it's not extremely useful. So that's why I would not spend money on this ship just for the console. There are ships that people buy just to have the console to put on other ships. This is not one of those ships. In fact, you can only put it on a Herald ship, so you can't put it on any other ships anyway. But I would not buy it for the console anyway. Even if you could put it on other ships, I would not buy it for the console alone. As for the trait now, this trait, I might. Because this synergistic restoration trait is an incredible... I cannot underestimate or overestimate or whatever estimate how awesome the synergistic restoration is. Because any ability that heals shields will enable this whole heal on your ship. And it works. It makes a difference. You'll be in combat and you'll see your hull go back up. This thing makes a difference. And the one that really makes a difference on it is combine it with rotate shield frequency, and it constantly goes. It doesn't stop. It does it like 5 pulses or something. Like there, it stopped, but now it's going to do it again. Watch. There it goes. See? That is an ability that is useful because I can fly into combat with a lot of ships and enable this, and it's going to constantly heal my hull while I'm in combat. That's just icing on the cake to me. That's really nice. So synergistic restoration being the Starship trait, I would definitely purchase this ship for that trait because you can use Starship traits on any Starship. So this synergistic restoration I can use on any other Starship I put on this character now. So I love that trait. So I'm not too in love with the gateway, but I am in love with the traits. I don't end up using the gateway a lot simply for the reason that I'm not stuck in one spot for a long time like I've previously said. I'm moving around or moving outside that 3 kilometers a lot. So it's not very useful to me. But I use it when I can, which is not very often, like I said. But this trait I use all the freaking time. Definitely. Otherwise, it's just a very versatile ship. 4 forward, 4 aft. So you can just go nuts on this thing. 5 engineering, go nuts on this thing. 3 science, 3 tactical. It's a lot of good console slots there. And A very flexible bridge officer station setup. Intelligence powers, check. Command powers, check. All your regular bridge officer powers, check. It's got them in spades. This ship is slow to maneuver, but we expect that from the type of ship it is. But you have fighters to make up for that. You put beam weapons on this thing, you put fire at will, and you will just go nuts. Really, you will go nuts. So, my overall thoughts on this ship is that, yes, I have enjoyed this ship. I like this ship. Not too keen on the console. I am very keen on the trait. And would I pay all the money it's asking for in the exchange right now? I mean, if I had no other ship and I had the energy credits, I guess why not? If you're trying to mine a box for it, it's not a must-have ship, but it's still a pretty fun ship. I mean, I guess that value is just determined by you. You know, are you willing to gamble for it? Are you willing to spend the money on it? Because you're not going to buy it straight from the Z store. It's not a Z store ship. And you're not going to get it from the low-buy store. So you're not guaranteed to get it. It's a gamble with those boxes. Unless you have the energy credits, then you'll be sure to get it for 145 or whatever million energy credits if you have them. Which in the grand scheme of things is not a ton of energy credits these days. It used to be. But, I mean, when you've got ships now selling for 1 billion energy credits, with the JJ Trek ship, the Kelvin Enterprise ship, at 1 billion energy credits, 145 million doesn't sound like that big of an investment for a ship that actually you'll probably enjoy, because I bet you would enjoy this ship. And it's definitely one of the more unique looking ships. Just be careful, because it's a slow moving ship. You do want to be able to do some damage with it. You don't want to be so tanky that you're just not doing any damage. I encounter this a lot in pugs. I mean, I guess we all have. We've got people with these really big, slow moving ships that can tank a whole lot, but they don't do a lot of damage. And that is a mistake that I guess a lot of new builders make, is they put everything into tank and they don't really work on doing DPS with their ship, and so they have trouble contributing to the team because they're not really doing a lot of damage. I encountered this a lot during the recent Mirror Invasion playthrough they had going on. I did like all pugs on Mirror Invasion, and some were good and some had really good powerful ships, but they just didn't know how to build it right. Ships like this, in fact, but they just weren't doing enough DPS. They weren't actually killing the Terran ships, you know, very fast. They were just sitting there for like minutes and minutes and minutes at a time, not even hardly doing any damage. So be careful with these tough ships. Yes, you can make them tough, but don't sacrifice damage either. You want to be able to make a difference and contribute to the team. Anyway, that's my little PSA for the day. I have enjoyed this ship, the Herald Quas Flight Deck Cruiser Tier 6. I give it an overall, I'm not really grading ships, I don't do that, but I would give it a solid A. I would give it a solid A. Not an A minus, not an A plus, just a solid A. It could be a little bit better if the console was a little more useful. If that gateway followed you instead of staying in one spot, like a moving gateway, that would have earned this thing an A+. That's just like the one thing that's getting me down on this, because I end up not using the gateway a lot because I fly out of its range. That's my major problem with the ship. But other than that, I mean, it's a fun ship. There you go, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of this ship. If you fly it, what's your build? Do you enjoy it? Are you having fun with it? If you don't have this ship, are you planning now to get it in the future after watching this video? Are you planning to look into possibly flying this ship? Would be interested in hearing all of those comments, what you think of the ship, and if you think you're going to be interested in the ship. As always, thank you all for watching, and I've got another Starship review that will be in the works right after this one, so keep watching. I've got a whole slew of Starships to review. I'm way behind. I apologize for that, but there are more to come. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.